Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of Kids Webinar, How to Get What You Want. Nima, welcome to the live room. Got Ashley in the house, Angie's here, Highland's rolling around on the floor. It's a beautiful Tuesday here in Nashville, Tennessee. And kids, thanks so much for watching. This has really been an absolute fantastic month. Better than last year, which was hard to say, but we still got more webinars on the way. Yesterday, which was Monday, today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, yesterday, which was Monday, I got a chance to go to a middle school, high school mix and teach some young adults about technical analysis, and did some handouts and really opened a lot of eyes. So really just phenomenal experience. I love teaching kids. So I appreciate you guys being here today. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. If you have Twitter, follow me on Twitter, @NewSomeNuggets. So today's presentation is entitled How to Get What You Want. And it's a pretty easy, pretty quick discussion today, because the reason I'm talking about it, how to get what you want, is really 3 steps to getting what you want. And this really and truly is a kids webinar, but I got an email over the weekend and someone was saying, man, Jeremy, I'm a 67-year-old man, and a lot of these topics you're presenting, they, I forget the exact words he said. Anyway, he was like, they relate a lot to me as well. I'm learning a lot from them also, is what he said. I was like, yeah, of course. I mean, you know, we're all learning every single day. That's a great objective and goal to have every single day, is to always continue learning. So Nima, Zol, Al, shout outs to you. Hope you're doing great. So let's talk about how to get what you want. Here are my 3 super important rules. Again, this is going to be a pretty quick webinar today. But the 3 important rules are going to be, number 1, you have to know what it is that you want. You have to know what it is that you want. That's a big deal. So in order to know what you want, it really helps begin to start by asking the question, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing whatever it is that I want to do? So if it's a wrestling championship, if you're wanting to excel at the violin or the piano or the cello, or maybe you want to be a doctor, or maybe you want to be a real estate agent, the question really begs why. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I have a friend by the name of David. David wants to be a real estate agent. And so I said, all right, David, that's awesome, man. Real estate is doing really well. It's fun to make money in real estate. You love selling houses to people. You're a good salesman. My question to you is, why? Why do you want to be a real estate agent? And he says, well, you know, real estate agents make a lot of money. All right, they do. You know, if the market is really hot, real estate agents can make a lot of money. Why do you want to make a lot of money? And as soon as I make that little transition, you know, from why do you want to do a real estate to why do you want to make money, then he says, well, I want to make a lot of money so I can travel. All right, well, why do you want to travel a lot? Well, I want to travel a lot so I can spend a lot of time in Rome. Why do you want to spend a lot of time in Rome? Well, I want to learn how to speak Italian. Well, why do you want to speak Italian? Because I've always wanted to live abroad and teach Renaissance art in Italy. Hello? Well, if you start asking the question why, deep enough and long enough, then you'll find out why it is that you want to do what it is that you want to do, and kind of go from there. So Nima, remind me, you wanted to do a wrestling championship, right? You want to be a really, really good wrestler in high school. So I'm going to try to do this with you, Nima. So why do you want to be a wrestling champion? What will be, so once you receive, you know, once you get the medal around your neck and you tap the guy out, because, you know, you wizard him down to the ground and you put him on the back, and he was down there for 3, whatever, you won the match. Why? What's next? What's next after that? And for anyone who's watching this pre-recorded or on YouTube or on Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever you find this video, ask yourself, what is it that you really want to do? And if you're at the part of your life where you're already doing it, right? I want to be a race car driver, or I want to be an eye doctor, or I want to be a health professional, or I want to be a marriage counselor, or I want to be a teacher. Why? Why do you want to do that? And then that question is going to spur another question. That answer is going to ask another. That question is going to have another answer. That answer is going to have another question, and so on and so forth. So again, David, that was just an example, but a really good one, because David wanted to sell real estate to make money, but his end result was not to be in real estate. His end result was he wanted to go to Italy. So, okay, well, instead of working on becoming a real estate agent just so that you can go to Italy, why not just focus all of your attention on going to Italy? I mean, instead of being a real estate agent, just focus all of your attention on there, because if you take all that energy and all that focus and every single day you wake up and you just attack that goal as hard as you possibly can, it's bound to happen at some point. Nima says, I want a scholarship knowing I'm the best in my state at my weight class. Ah, beautiful. Bam. So let's continue down with this step. This is a fantastic progress. So, all right, Nima wants to be a wrestling champion so he can get a scholarship. Getting a scholarship will allow him to go to a good college. So what's it in college? Do you want to be a wrestler in college as well? So we're in college, you got your scholarship, you got college paid for, right? You've decreased your student loans, if at all, and maybe you've totally eradicated them, which is excellent. So you don't have any student loans, you're wrestling, you're in great shape, more or less. I mean, obviously wrestling can have some lasting effects, usually in the rotator cuff, specifically the right one if you're right-handed, or the left one if you're left-handed. You can get cauliflower ear. As Ashley was finding out this weekend, she was watching some UFC action, and was learning about what cauliflower ear is, or as it's called, collie ear. A little bit of collie. So for me, when I was going to college, I wanted to get a degree in finance. And I thought a degree in finance was literally me learning how to trade the stock market. I thought that's what a degree in finance was. If you go to school to get a finance degree, you get a finance degree, you learn how to trade the stock market. If you learn how to trade the stock market, you make a lot of money. If you make a lot of money, you can go and do whatever it is that you want to do. Nima said, no, I just want to study, but if I have to wrestle for a scholarship, I would do so happily. All right, fantastic. So my question then from there, and you probably already know it, Nima, right? What is it that you want to study? What is it that you want to study? So you're in college, you're wrestling for a scholarship, which you would do happily, right? That's making income if you think about it, because you're not paying for the college, right? You're getting a scholarship. That's a huge savings to you, to your dad, your mom, your parents. It's a big burden off on them. I mean, that's definitely a big deal. So number one is knowing what you want. So you have to know exactly what it is, because you really, kids and adults, it doesn't matter where you are in life, it's always a really, really good question to find out exactly what it is. Neiman says, I want to study medicine. I want to have a positive effect on someone's well-being. Bam. And that's the goal. That's something that we can focus on. Now we have an ends to the mean. We want to study medicine and have a positive effect on people. That's a beautiful goal. Nima, great job. I love it. So that's the second one. Nima answered my number 2 rule. Number 2 is you have to know why. You have to know why it is that you want to do what you want to do. So if you want to study medicine, my next follow-up question was, if someone was like, I want to be a doctor. Okay, why do you want to be a doctor? Doctors make a lot of money. Okay, if you had a lot of money, what would you do? Right? If doctors make a lot of money, what would you do with a lot of money if you're a doctor? So if you truly become a doctor because you want to help people, you are really conscious about your own health, you want to give back to your community, or give back to your family, or give back to your relatives, or give back to those around you, or just simply have a positive impact on the nutrition of people around you, and maybe come up with a groundbreaking antibiotic or vitamin or something that helps countless people, that's a that's a phenomenal goal to have, obviously. But you got to have that goal. You got to have the reason why, because if your why is not stronger than all the negatives that life is going to throw at you from time to time, if your why isn't stronger than that, you're going to give up. And that's what the session 2 was about. What is discipline? Is when you have that. When you have those objections, when you have those forces pushing back on you, your why has to be so strong. I mean, you really have to ingrain every single day that, you know what, I just really want to help and have a positive impact on people's well-being. Or in my personal opinion, when I started trading the stock market, I was like, it really wasn't about money for me. It was about teaching. That's what was interesting, is I want to have enough money that I could teach people whatever it is that I want to teach at any given time, whenever I wanted to do it. I want to have the freedom to travel and to do what I want to do when I want to do it. So, going through the stock market was one route that you wish to take, or that I wish to take, and I did take. And that's why you got to have that goal. You got to know why it is that you're willing to do something. So really, for me, the root just came down to I love teaching people. I really, really love teaching. I think I'm a better teacher than I am a trader. I'm a really good trader, but I personally just love teaching so much, regardless of whatever the subject is. I really like teaching. That's why I do what I do, especially I do what I do for free. So here's number 3. Number 3, and this is really the culmination of tonight's webinar entitled, how to get what you want, the number 3 rule is you need to ask someone who is already doing or who has already done exactly what it is that you want to do, and ask them how they did it, or ask them how they're doing it. So for example, for those of you who may be watching, perhaps you want to travel the world and you really like photography. Is there any possible way that you could build a business or create a business taking photographs so that you can travel the world? That might sound like a myth, that might sound like a dream, or that might sound like a dream come true. But is it possible? And the answer is yes. I know people personally who do it. People who literally travel the world and create a business, either teaching people how to take photography or selling photographs to magazines, National Geographic, Discovery, things of that nature. They take pictures, they literally sell them, and they travel the world. Is it a high-paying job? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on what your objective is. If your objective is to travel and take pictures and you're not focused on the money will always come to any facet of life that you master. Mastery always brings wealth. If you master something, someone will be willing to pay you for that information. If you know something better than anyone else around you, people are willing to pay you for that knowledge or for that expertise. If you want to rebuild old cars and sell them, all right? So you take a junky car, rebuild it, sell it for more money. If that's what you want to do because you love working on vehicles, you love cars more than anything, find someone who's doing that right now. So if you want to be a wrestling champion, find someone who is a wrestling champion, who got a scholarship to college, who went on to wrestle in college, and ask them, hey, how did you do it? What were the struggles? What should I watch out for? That is truly, in my personal opinion, one of the most valuable lessons that we can receive. As parents, as kids, it's sometimes intimidating to ask our parents what they know because, they're our parents. We don't want to say, hey, what should I avoid, if I want to be X, Y, Z? Let's say your dad or your mom, let's just say is a Olympic sprinter. I don't know. Random example. And you want to be a real estate attorney. Are you going to be a real estate attorney and they're an Olympic sprinter? Well, you can't really ask them necessarily, hey, I want to be a real estate attorney, because I love helping people solve their real estate problems. How do I do that? They might not have the best advice because that's not exactly what they did. So if you can't ask your parents, hey, exactly, how do I go down this road? Because, parents don't know everything. They know how to raise you as a child, but they don't know the answer to everything. But what I can say is they absolutely know to give you the same advice I'm giving you right now. If you want something bad enough, simply ask someone who has done exactly what it is that you've done. And if you don't know where to start, go to the apex or the origin of where it is. So as an example, if you want to be a professional cellist, go find someone who is playing cello right now and find out how to contact them and email them. Now, will you get it on the first try? Probably not. Probably not. You might have to be persistent, but that's what lesson number 2 was, right? What is discipline? Be disciplined enough to continue following up and talking to that person and saying, hey, I want it really, really, really bad. I don't think you understand how bad I want it. I want it very, very badly. I'm going to do what you're doing now, so just tell me how I can do it. Tell me what I need to avoid and tell me what I need to work on, what I need to focus on. That's a big step in the right direction. So for me, right, I reached out to a lot of people who did a lot of webinars, who did a lot of online teaching, who ran businesses ran teaching businesses or teaching companies, a lot of YouTube channels, and reached out to them, asking them, hey, what are some things I can avoid? What are things I can do better? How can I always improve? As a boiled down formula as that is, traders, kids, parents, and friends from around the world, that really is the key, the golden ticket, if you will. Find out exactly, truly what it is that you want to do. And if you don't know, start by answering this question. If money was no object at all, Nima, if money was no issue to you at all whatsoever, you had all the money you could possibly want in all the world, money was just abundant, you could have all that you wanted, would you still be practicing medicine? Or for you out there watching, would you still be a real estate agent? Or would you still be a lawyer? Or would you still be a doctor? Or would you still be a teacher? If money was no object in the world, what is it that you would do? So here's a quick example, and then I'll let you guys go with this. This is a story called The Businessman and the fisherman. It goes a little something like this. So a businessman was going down to Mexico with him and some of his colleagues, and he runs a successful business. He's a Fortune 500 company. He makes $320,000 a year. He's got a nice pension. He's got a nice 401k. Got a nice golden parachute. He's living the life. He's really excited. He puts in a lot of work. He spends a lot of time working, and he's like, man, I am excited to take a vacation. So he goes to somewhere really cool in Mexico. Insert the name. Let's just say Cancun. That's the first one that pops in my head, but there's other places in Mexico than Cancun. But you guys know what I'm saying. So he goes to Cancun. He's relaxing, and he's on the beach, and he sees a gentleman pull up a boat on the sand. He has the rope over his shoulder. He's pulling it up and pulls the boat, walks into the boat, grabs a nice bucket of fish, starts walking up the beach. And the businessman goes, "Hey amigo, what you got in the bucket?" And the guy's like, "I got some fish." I was gonna do a Spanish accent, but I'm terrible at accents. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. So you guys get the idea. So he's got this big bucket of fish. He's like, "What you gonna do with the fish?" He's like, "Well, I'm going to go cook them up. Me and my family are gonna have a good dinner. Probably gonna have some cerveza, take a little bit of a nap, hang out with some friends, relax." He's like, "Yeah, right on, right on." He's like, "How many fish did you catch today?" He's like, "Enough." He's like, "All right, well, cool. Well, it's already like 1 in the afternoon. Do you think at some point you're gonna go back out and catch some more?" He's like, "No, I have as many as I could possibly want today." He's like, "Well, what if you got a second boat?" And then the fisherman goes, "Okay, what if I had a second boat? What'd I do?" He's like, "Well, the businessman's thinking now business." He's like, "Okay, if you have a second boat, you and your buddies could go out and catch more fish. And then, of course, you could still feed your family, but then you could sell the extra fish that you don't have and make a little bit of money." And then the fisherman's like looking really excited. He's like, "Okay, cool. And then what?" He's like, "Well, with the proceeds, you can buy another boat. So now you have 3 boats. Now you can hire some of your friends. You can catch even more fish." And then the fisherman's looking like, "Okay, wow. All right, well, what would I do then?" And they're like, "Well, now you have 3 boats. I don't know. How about you consolidate 3 boats into one really, really big boat. All of your friends and all of your employees go on the boat and you catch even more fish." And the fisherman's thinking to himself, "Okay, yeah, I could totally do that. Then what?" He says to the businessman. The businessman's like, "Well, now you're catching a lot of fish, so you could sell that fish, probably upgrade your house. Get a really nice house." And then the fisherman's looking like really interested to the businessman. It's like, "Oh man, bigger house. Okay, so then what?" And the businessman's like, "Well, then, just get a home equity line of credit because your house is going to appreciate in value. Take that home equity line of credit, invest in more ships. Now, 5, 10 years down the road, you have 10 giant boats, and you have 1,000 employees, and you guys are fishing the oceans, and you're doing what you love every single day, and you're catching fish, and you're making money, and you're providing for your family. You have a bigger boat, you have a bigger house, everything's exciting." Fisherman's like, "Oh man, he's really getting excited about this." And he's like, "Okay, then what?" And then he's like, "Well, now you go public, right? Now you have 1,000-person company. You have this giant company worth all of this money. Now you can form an LLC, and you can go public, and you can make $1 million. And the fisherman's like, "Oh, $1 million. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Then what?" He's like, "Well, now you're the owner of the company. Then you sell the company, move to Mexico, get a boat, go fishing with your friends, take a nap whenever you want, drink a few beers, and relax on the beach." And then the fisherman goes, "Exactly, amigo. That's what I'm doing now. Thanks for the advice." I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, find out exactly what it is that you want to do, and then go do that, and you'll truly be happy. Thanks so much for watching this webinar entitled "Get Exactly What It Is That You Want." Until next time, friends, traders, and kids from around the world, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. See ya.